Oh, that's totally working.
Iron Man 2 was Scarlett's first appearance in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it was completely sexualized.
The whole situation baffles me.
In a recent interview with Collider, the actress said she often felt like a piece of meat or a possession in that film. Even the movie's main star, Tony Stark, refers to her like a thing at some point.
I want one.
I can also be used as a sparkly object to distract the spirits.
Sure, some people say that Black Widow has a sexual nature in the comic books, which means that she was supposed to be that way in the movies. But the MCU changed so many other characters' personalities, so why didn't they change this aspect about Natasha? And not only the MCU people, but also journalists and interviewers contributed to creating this highly sexualized image of hers.
I just want to feel it. Ooh. Oh, that's totally working. Wow, I love that. I touched Scarlett's boobs.
My father likes you, my boyfriend likes you, like all of men like you. So how does it how does it feel being this?
I finally got them, all generations.
Your character could have easily just been kind of written off as the sexy one of the team. How important is it that
Really? Have you seen Chris Hemsworth?
We're quite interested to know what would be the fashion elements Avengers Infinity War uses in the movies.
What?
The fashion elements.
The fashion element?
Yes.
With each new movie, the amount of questions about fashion, hairstyle, and diet was increasing. For example, right after Robert Downey Jr. talked about his character's development at a press conference, she was asked about her diet.
Like, how come you get like the really interesting, like existential question and I get the like rabbit food question?
And she also often had to share something too explicit.
I'm sorry, do you happen to ask a man this question? Yeah, that's all right, I'm nude, but I'm not nude.
Even female interviewers did it to her.
Probably don't have the same body worries as the rest of us, but was there a bit of you that thought, oh my god, that's tight?
First of all, every woman has body worries. I mean, I'm not exempt from that.
But here's the most outrageous interview she had to deal with.
Now, were you able to wear undergarments?
You're like the fifth person that's asked me that.
Because
what is going on?
You can certainly understand her resentment.
Since when did people start asking each other in interviews about their underwear?
And being a lady, she had the perfect answer.
I'll leave it up to your imagination.
Even Scarlett's co-stars couldn't keep from commenting on her sexuality.
You wish for your character in the next movie?
To marry Black Widow.
But others supported her. For example, Mark Ruffalo. When Scarlett and Mark were promoting Age of Ultron and gave an interview to Cosmopolitan UK, the interviewer decided to turn the tables and ask Ruffalo the kind of questions Johansson often gets. The result was quite funny.
Did you feel much pressure to slim down, get in shape, go on a diet, Mark?
Not really.
I made a bunch of peanut butter, did some push-ups,
Yeah, I
right?
did some push-ups.
And meanwhile, Scarlett finally got to talk about her character.
She's very straightforward, and I like that part of her.
That interview was pretty refreshing for the actress. And still, all the sexist remarks and questions she was getting led to Scarlett standing up against the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. In her statement, Johansson disclosed that actors must attend interviews, press conferences, and award shows to promote their films. Right there, they have to deal with all these sexist questions and remarks that sometimes border on sexual harassment. Since she faced so many, the actress decided to refuse to participate in it at all. The HFPA is an organization that was legitimized by the likes of Harvey Weinstein to amass momentum for Academy recognition, Scarlett claimed.
I thought to myself, well, that's empowering. I mean...
And she added that unless a fundamental reform happens within the organization, other members should take a step back from HFPA.
If you take a job as a public advocate, then you must advocate publicly, right?
Once again, Johansson was supported by her Avengers co-star, Mark Ruffalo. He stated that the time has come to right the wrongs and provide true equality of rights. Many others also heard the pledge, and even the Netflix CEO announced that the streaming giant stopped all activities with the organization. But the sexist issue in Hollywood isn't only about actresses being asked sexist questions and not being represented equally to men. It's also about the considerable wage gap between salaries of male and female actors. Scarlett was sure to speak out against that as well. She once reported that although she's considered one of the highest grossing actresses, it doesn't mean that she's paid more than everyone else. I've had to fight for everything that I have, Johansson disclosed to Marie Claire in 2017. Some people might think that it's cynical to complain about salary when you get millions per single film, but in fact it's part of a larger conversation. It's always unpleasant to know that you're not paid equally to males, even if you have the same level of training, experience, and talent. And what if you're even better?
How old-fashioned, this idea that behind a great man
is a great woman. What about being in front of that person or next to them or standing on your own?
Everyone should be paid equally for the job they're doing, and that's a fact. And still, women on average get about 20% less money than men.
Screw that. It's so old-fashioned.
These days, when Scarlett is 36, she's a mom and she wants her daughter to live in a better world.
It's more flattering to me when I have girls that come up to me and they go, oh, I love that movie.
Like a lot of young women, you come into your own and you understand your own self-worth. It's changing now, the actress shared, and she's glad to be part of that shift. Scarlett is lucky because despite the sexualization and sexism she had to encounter, she managed to stand up for her rights, be heard, and demonstrate her character's evolution. But not everyone is so fortunate. Some women end up being typecast in sexy roles as damsels in distress, getting less money and less recognition than their male colleagues. The time has come for change. After all, anything men can do, women can do too, if not better.